the history of the steel band is long overdue. There are so many persons who contributed, known and unknown, and those who have passed beyond. And this is a very, very, very good. For it must be known that the steel band was originated in Trinidad, developed by Trinidadians, young Trinidadians, and fellows, you may say, who hadn't something to eat, somewhere to sleep. And they have given us instrument, this influence of the 20th century from the world, and we must be recognized, it must be known that is ours. I still remember, you know, these fellows coming down with these big bamboo, and their music, and they're coming down the road, bottle and spoon. But I know an old tune that I used to hear them sing as a little boy coming down, pam party pim 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 pam 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 pim 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 pim. So a lot of rhythm, plenty of rhythm, and part of that rhythm pass over to the steel band. A little before the bamboo, they used to have iron and drums on the streets. The greater part of the steel bands came from areas where you had this Orisha or Radha, or where the African religion was practiced, where you had the drums and the sticks and so on.
When I first went to the Pioneer, my first experience, it just took me back to Africa. Because the pan, I mean, the music of the pan, it's another, you know, I hear a lot of similarities in the music of balafon in Africa, the music of mbira. You know, you have a lot of different traditional African instruments.
But even in the iron, with the steel that you play, is part of the Orisha instruments that is used. Because I asked the question, I went to a feast, what they call a ebo, or something like that, the religious ceremony, and I saw this fellow chime, oh. So I asked the question, what is it all about, and he told me it's a welcome song. They're chiming for an entity, or what they call a power, a certain power they have to chime this piece of steel. So I got an idea where the steel came from, along with the drum.
And I spent a lot of time in West Africa and East Africa and North, and I see kind of like this universal movement of music. I saw a lot of similarities in the spiritual evocation of the music from the pan.
The steel band, in a sense, we have to see, they inherit a sort of a stigma. The stick fighter, the drums, this is very important again, because the stick fighter who fought all about in various years that they had in Port of Spain, they used the drums. And there's the same sort of people that come into this with the bamboo and with the steel band. So when people see, they say, you with this, you are Kaladiwa, you are Bajon, you know, all kind of names. Long before there were actually a steel band on the streets, I saw and heard pan beatings on the streets during Carnival period. The people who were most famous for that was in Knockabout All About Sailors. Carnival, they knock two pans, they knock the pans, they would pour water and they make a joyful noise and dance and sing on the street. That was even before the time of what we call fancy sailor. So it evolved from the knockabout to the way you call fancy sailor, which was in the 30s, and then eventually what you call the king sailor. So the pan, as I know it, or the steel band, which I rather to say the steel band, at the period when it came in, it sort of married with the bamboo. So bamboo and the steel band play together, and eventually the pan came out the bamboo. The first pan that you were able to distinguish was the pan that carried over from the drums, which we call a bass skittle. The West eventually call it a dodo. It's from the same rhythm of the drum. That was the driving force of the steel band in that period. But eventually, they named that pan a kittle. You had the bass skittle, and then you had the kittle. Well, the kittle was the first instrument from which they were able to play any kind of melody. But the coming of World War II, in 1941 or 42, they drove them off the streets. When they chased the fellows off the streets, they didn't sort of put down the instruments. They went about innovating and inventing But V-Day, when they declared, well, war ceased, then the fellows came on the road with an instrument like this. So this is what you call the mother pan. We call it a ping pong. So this is the mother ping pong of the 55-gallon drum that you have today. Between this and the 55-gallon drum, this is the intermediate pan that came about. Then came the Elimanet period, when Elimanet brought about a new idea, and he reversed the procedure and grew the pans as in modern today.